Hey everyone! So this video is about translation. So this is our first step in transformations. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to draw the image of a figure after a translation. So what is a translation? A translation is a slide. Okay? It's a movement left, right, or up, down. Okay, so it's moving left, right, up, or down. Now, it's like drawing a triangle and then saying, all right, I'm going to move it and I'm going to redraw the same triangle. It hasn't changed anything, it's just a new position. To move things, we use what is called a vector. A vector is like a point, only it tells you how it moves. Tells you how a figure moves. Okay. Now it's written like a point, only except for points use parentheses. Vectors use the carets almost. Okay. But again, it's x and y. Okay. So x controls the left-right movement, left or right. And the y controls the up or down. Now, translations either move left or right or up or down, and you can have any combination. When you have a vector, if it's moving left, x is negative. If it's moving right, x is positive. If it's moving up, y is positive. If it's moving down, then y is negative. So to get practice with this, we're just going to write out the vectors here. So if it's saying 4 units right and 3 units up. So right is x is going to be positive. So I'm going to put it in these carets. 4 units right means it's going to be a positive 4. 3 units up means it's going to be a positive 3. Here, for number 2, 5 units left, 2 units down. Now I'm the exact opposite directions of this one. So it's going to be negative 5, negative 2 inside the carets. This one says 1 unit left, 1 unit up. Now, left is a negative movement, but up is a positive movement. So I can have a combination of the two. In the last one, 3 units down. Well, it's just 3 units down, so I know my y is going to be negative. But is there any movement left or right? There's no movement. So my x is 0. So that was the kind of trick question there. So what we're going to be using this mostly for is graphing these figures. So if I look, first thing you have to notice is that the scale on this, each one of these is 2. So when I'm counting, if you want to add in these little tick marks in between, that would be every 1. It might be a little bit easier to see, but the big lines are every 2. So first thing I need to recognize is I need to graph the original one. So you notice that these are all parentheses. So those are all points. So I'm going to graph those points. I'm going to graph those in orange. So negative 2, negative 1, that's my R. Negative 2, 2, that's my E. 3, 2, that's my C. And 3, negative 1, that is my T. This is my original figure. Now, it says graph the figure and its image along the vector 2, negative 1. So you notice those are in the carets. That's the vector. That means I'm going to take this and I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to move it 2 to the right and 1 down. Because x is positive, y is negative, I'm going to move this basically 2 to the right and 1 down. So what I can do is I can actually count on this. I can go, okay, 1, 2, down 1. That's where my new e is going to be. 1, 2, down 1. That's where my new r is going to be. 1, 2, down 1. That's where my new c is going to be. 1, 2, down 1. That's where my new t is going to be. And when I write these new coordinates, now this is going to be where my new e is. That's where I put the e apostrophe. This is where I'm going to put the c apostrophe, r apostrophe, t apostrophe. So r is the original. R apostrophe is the image, is the after, as you might see. Okay, it's the after. Now, I can do this in a variety of ways. For question here, again, it's the same process with the tick marks in the middle, because each one of these is 2 units. So you might want to add those in so it's easier counting. But there's another way of doing translations. If I take this vector, again, this is the vector that's in the carets, okay? And I look at my original points. I know I'm going to take this and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to move it 4 units to the right and 5 units up. That means my x's are all going to increase by 4 and my y's are all going to increase by 5. That means it's just adding. So if I take my original points, what I can do with my vector is I can say, okay, I'm going to add 4 to all my x's, and I'm going to add 5 to all my y's. And I can create these new points. So my t apostrophe, my new t, -3 plus 4 is 1. -8 plus 5 is 3. -3. My new u is going to be -2, 8. My new v is going to be 7, 5. All I'm doing is I'm going to take this vector and add it to each one of those points. And my new w is going to be 4, 8. Now if I plot my original, I'll plot that in my blue, -3, -8, -6, 3, 3, 0, and 0, 3. This is my original. And the translation is going to move at 4 units right and 5 units up. Now if I plot this, 1, -3, -2, 8, 7, 5, and 4, 8. Do you see that this blue figure moved to the right and up? That's just because I added those points, the vector to those points. I can also subtract. In this case, my vector is -1 and -2. So I'm going to take these points, and now instead of adding, because these are negative, I'm going to subtract. -1, -2, -1, -2, -1, -2. My new q is going to be 1, 3. My new r is going to be 6, -1. And my new s is going to be -2, 0. So again, I'll plot the original in blue, 2, 5, 7, 1, -1, 2. That's my original. My new one should move left 1 and down 2. Well, if I plot that, 1, 3, 6, negative 1, negative 2, 0. Do you see how it moved left and down? That is the movement. The next step would be a combination where I have this original, but now my vector is 3, negative 2. Well, now I'm going to add 3 to the x's, but I'm going to subtract 2 to my y. I'm going to move to the right and down. Right and down. Okay? Plus 3 minus 2. Plus 3 minus 2. Plus 3 minus 2. I create the new points. My new A. 4, 4. My new B. 7, 3. My new C. 4, negative 3. And my new D. 1, negative 2. Again, I'm moving right and down. So if I plot my original, 1, 6, 4, 5, 1, negative 1, negative 2, 0. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to move it right 3 down. 4, 4, 7, 3, 4, negative 3, 1, negative 2. Right down. So that's how you perform the translations. Please complete any of the practice problems and come with me any questions. Thank you.